Too soft.
It's a hump day. It's a hump day live stream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Hump, hump,
Yeah.
hump day.
You know what day it is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. It's one of my favorite days.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely top 7 favorite days for sure.
Top 7. Okay. Okay. So it's the last then?
No, man. It's top 7, like I said.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, man. I have a good feeling about this hump day
Mm.
and the discussion that we're going to have on it tonight. You already
Mm-hmm. Me
know.
too. Me too.
You already know what the going on. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I want to bring everyone's attention to this real quick.
Mm.
So, we will be having the link. Actually, I'm gonna post it right here.
Do it.
Um, I'm gonna post it right. Actually, in the description.
Right in
It's
the
gonna say,
description.
yeah, pre-save Telly by Dev Omar featuring John P. Smith. That's me
Mm-hmm.
here. So you can pre-save it on your Spotify just by clicking that link.
Mm-hmm.
Um, really stoked about it. So we got everything uploaded. I actually like did different mixes on it like 3 different times. But it sounds really good now. It sounds really good. And I think yeah, I would be down to share with the whole world. So I don't know, we had some guy like, you should send that to a radio station. I'm like, no one listens to the radio anymore. um, but but yeah, we did submit to some playlists on Spotify, so hopefully we can get some placement on there. And see what comes from it. But um, it'll be cool. I'm really excited about it. So played it on the live stream last week, and it's on this week. The audio episode that's currently live. You hear the beat in the background.
Mm-hmm.
As it gets closer, I will debut it on the pod, um,
Mm-hmm.
but not yet. Anyway, it officially goes live on Friday, September 17th. So about 4 weeks from now, it'll be live on all platforms. Uh, Even Snapchat, man.
Ooh. Okay. On the
Snap.
snaps.
So Snap is getting in the music game. Um,
Oh man.
because you can remix people's snaps now.
Oh,
And
interesting. Okay.
so like what they're doing is basically everybody in social media is copying each other. So you have
Mm-hmm.
like Snapchat's copying TikTok and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram copied TikTok with Reels. Snappy Chat copied TikTok with remixes. Everybody's copying everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so now Snapchat put in the effort to get rights to people's songs, but it's interesting because they aren't going through the labels or anything like that. I have to
Mm-hmm.
specifically declare, yes, I own all the publishing rights to this song, so Snapchat can use it, which was interesting.
Interesting. So they're putting the onus on the person who's uploading, essentially.
Yeah, yeah, not the label.
That sounds really problematic, at least.
It sounds weird, which I do have a publishing trademark for Mayflower Records.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's what's published under that is trademarked to me, really.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's the record label in case no one's ever heard that. It's Mayflower Records because yeah, my name's John Smith. All right, super funny. But yeah, so it's been interesting with that process. But I mean, of course, it's gonna be on your Spotify, your Apple Music, your Pandora if you listen to that, Amazon Music.
Mm-hmm.
I seen one girl use Amazon Music religiously. I was like, "Hey, shout out to you, being a contrarian, man. It is high quality. I trialed it a couple times a few years back. It sounds fantastic, but
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I don't know why. I mean, maybe if you use a Kindle for your phone, I don't know. Um,
I mean, hey, if you one of the few that had like the Fire phone, or yeah, the Fire phone when Amazon tried to do their own smartphone.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
That flopped.
Or it flopped very badly. I mean, just yeah, maybe that's your excuse. I don't know.
Mhm.
Maybe you're like me and just have a record player over here off camera. Um, I want the vinyl version of Telly, actually, is what I really want. But but yeah, so Telly will be live on all streaming platforms again. It's the song that we previewed last week, and um, it'll be live on all platforms Friday, September 17th. So go to the link in the description of this episode, hit it, pre-save it to your Spotify. You'll be notified when it comes out, and you get to listen to it right when it goes live. So really help us out. But yeah, man. Okay, before we get started, I want to talk about this.
Mhm.
And what I'm about to say, you're gonna be surprised, but it's
Mm.
bittersweet actually.
Okay.
But Whataburger is coming to Kansas, bro.
Oh man. Really?
Officially. Yeah, officially. And hear me out on this. So Patrick Mahomes, America's quarterback, right?
Mhm.
Not really. It's Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Cowboys, obviously. So um anyway, he is from Tyler, Texas. Okay, so he grew up like we did with some good, clean Whataburger, America's
Mhm.
burger, right? The
Mhm.
people's burger. um, and so he wanted to bring it to where he lives now, and
Mhm.
he's got like a multi-year contract. So he's going to spend his whole career in Kansas City, except for probably at the end, like what happened with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady.
Yeah.
But but yeah, he got in touch with, you remember a couple years back when like a corporate company bought, or a corporate investment firm bought Whataburger, and everybody lost their mind like, oh, they're gonna change it, and you damn
Mhm.
Yankees are just gonna mess up my good clean southern burger, and like
Mhm.
nothing changed at all, like literally nothing. um Tastes just as good. Well, so he got in touch with them and somehow did a deal to bring this to Kansas. It's a pretty big deal, I would feel like, especially for a joint, like a burger joint, as legendary as Whataburger, right?
Mhm.
I
Agreed.
say that because two reasons. Like y'all don't get tired of going to Whataburger, and you still live where there's actively Whataburger around, right?
Mhm.
And then up here, like people are like, oh, I mean, I've heard about it, but I've never tried it before. Everyone says it's really good though. So like to bring that to as far north as it's been for the most part,
Mhm.
there's gonna be 7 locations in Kansas and Missouri.
Man.
Yeah.
So they're jumping in like super hardcore.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of those positions, or one of those locations, I mean, is gonna be I think in Wichita, I would have to assume. Um
Mhm.
But I would imagine there might be 2, because there's always like an east side location and a west side location in Wichita. But I was thinking too, like, what if they put one downtown? That might be the beginning of the end, actually, because nothing stays open here 24 hours except for McDonald's
Mhm.
and God, I can't think of the name of this taco place. Anybody from Kansas would know. It's this taco joint. They're not bad, but it's not like something I would be like, oh God, yeah, I threw back like 5 shots tonight, and I just want so bad a spicy burrito right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
you're there's like spontaneous combustions going on in your stomach at that moment. Um, so I feel like if they put one downtown that stays open 24 hours, people are just gonna ransack it, just line all the way around the building. People just like pulling up with boom boxes like it's the 90s. I don't know why I picture that, but that's probably what's gonna happen. Um,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Drive-bys at the Whataburger, yeah, da, 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 da. Just, but also like it's the whole rager from the club that continues over at Whataburger, and people just getting lit.
Mhm. Mhm. Hey
I
man, you go
mean,
from the pump house to the Whataburger, man.
bro, that's exactly my style. Actually, what I would do is get done playing at the Brickyard and go eat Whataburger. That's legit what I would do. But Yeah, I mean, just going over there and like that to me, that's why they got to put them on the opposite ends of town, so people have to go out of their way to get them. Because we even know how it was in Allen. Allen's a good, clean town. Nothing goes on in Allen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, it was
man,
crazy,
all
man.
yeah, all at midnight, especially on a weekend, that was the turn up joint right there. That
Mm-hmm. That
was the
was the
turn up
place,
joint.
man.
Yeah, people would show up in droves and just be lit, of
Mm-hmm.
age or not, and they're just having some
Mm-hmm.
Whataburger.
Especially if you were a high schooler, man, that was the place to be.
It was, dude. I'm telling you. Yeah, the vibe was there. The vibe was
Mm-hmm.
always there.
Yeah, man,
Whataburger
you
was
don't need the
lit.
club when you got Whataburger.
For real though, I probably wouldn't even go to the club. I'd just be chilling at Whataburger. I'd just be chilling in the back with some honey butter chicken biscuits, bro. Holding the wall up.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But no, I mean, so obviously I'm excited, but I'm
You
bittersweet
posting
about
up.
it. Man, you already know. I see you posting up with your girl. Man, what was that dude's name? We gotta tell people that guy's name on the.
It was Jabu, wasn't
It was Jabu.
it?
Jabulani was his name, but he went by Jabu. And he was like, "Yeah, man, I see you posting up over there with your girl." I was like, "Posting up?" Like I was like, "I got her in the low post." Like,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "Nah, man." He's like, he's like, "You just over here like, you know." I'm like, "Dang." Raul's on the stream, man. What do you say? He says you have
Oh
to get your
man.
BOB, breakfast on bun. Hell yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
hell yeah.
about.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about too. I tell you, like, it's actually underrated. I don't wake up and be like, I'm getting fast food for breakfast. Like I literally never
Hmm.
do that. But with that said, Whataburger's breakfast might be the best thing about Whataburger, which I know is crazy to
It
say.
slaps, man. It really
I know.
does. Well, and the good thing about it too is that it's 11 from 11, right? So it's 11 p.m. to 11 a.m. So that's the thing. Like you could go to Whataburger at 12 a.m. Or 12 o'clock,
Midnight.
and
Right.
still get breakfast.
I know. I know.
I mean,
I
it'd
pull
be
up.
12 on the opposite end, but
Yeah.
I
I
used to
pull
go there
up.
all the time, get that honey butter biscuit at
That's what I'm
12,
saying. Yeah.
12 at night.
I'll pull up and I'd be like, yeah, I want A1 thick and hearty burger, root beer, which I don't drink soda anymore, but that's the hardest part, bro. And then
Mhm.
spicy ketchup for my fries, you know. But then talking about, let me dust that off too with my honey butter biscuit. That's what I want for my dessert. Hell yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
really it's
man.
more like breakfast on biscuit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I am stoked for it. I really am. But it's kind of a tradition when I come back down to Texas. It's the first thing I eat. It's the last thing I eat. You know, and it's fun because
Mhm.
like no one ever says anything about it. They're just like, yeah, I get it. Let's do it. Like I know that's your thing. You know, let's do it. Whatever. I love that. It's fun. It's like a little tradition thing. And now I'm gonna
Mhm.
come down and be like, I have it at home. Like, I don't. It's not that great. Like, feel
Nah,
like every
man, you're
time.
gonna come down and man, I'm in the real Whataburger,
Right. It
the
tastes
real
better in
deal.
Texas.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, hey,
I
you
actually
said it
probably will be.
yourself, right? Was it Texas Roadhouse doesn't taste the same or something like that?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that. It was
Or was it Saltgrass?
saltgrass. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
saltgrass. That's actually true. That wasn't just speculation. Like literally anybody from Texas, everyone from Texas is like it tastes different in Kansas, and not good different. Yeah, yeah. That actually was true.
You need those good, clean Texas cows, man.
Well, it could be. I mean, yeah, it could be where they source the beef, or it could
Mhm.
be how they preserve it for transport. But it was definitely different. But it's the same thing with In and Out. The same thing with In and Out. They
Mhm.
taste way better in California. I mean, way better. I even liked it more Well, I was feeling some type of way, but like I liked it more in Las Vegas when I was there last year. Like
Really?
I did, and it was closer to where they, originally sourced their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In Texas, I feel like it was good initially. I don't know if they just expanded too much, so they had to start sourcing it from other places or what. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I feel like I remember when In-N-Out first came to Texas, it was way better than it is now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know though. We might have just been feeding into the hype, right? Because I feel like it's one of those I forgot what the term is, but it's essentially you build something up so much and then when you go there, it may not live up to the standards, but you just want it to. So
Right.
you almost like make up that it's better than it actually
Yeah.
is.
I mean, I
Because I
could totally.
remember because I remember when I first had In and Out, I was just like, it's okay. And then
Right.
I went back later, and like you said, it just didn't taste the same. It didn't
Yeah.
taste as good as it did then, and even then, I still said like, well, Whataburger's better. So
I know. Even the animal style, I'm just like, I mean, it's all right. You put
yeah,
some Thousand
exactly.
Island on your, you put some Thousand Island and diced onions on your fries. I mean, cool. I mean, I don't know. It's okay. But I will say 100% it is better in California. It really is.
Mm,
Um, yeah, that stuff was nice. Actually, I felt that way with El Pollo Loco too, because that's where that's from.
mhm,
When I had it in Texas, because they have one, of course, like right when I moved, I'm like, what? It was
mhm. El
okay.
Pollo Loco.
Yeah, it was okay, but out in California, it's different. It really was.
It
But
hits
I don't know.
different.
It hit different. So we'll see about Whataburger. I mean, maybe it'll be like everybody's gonna be like, oh, they're gonna want to hate. They're gonna be like, I thought you said it was the best burger ever. Why is this just okay? I'm like, you didn't go to Texas, dude, and you're doing it wrong.
Exactly. You got to drive to Texas and then eat it there, and you'll find out.
You're right. Darian saying too, In and Out was overhyped. To be honest, I agree.
Mhm.
And Raul,
Mhm.
yeah, Raul
Raul
saying this
saying the same thing.
overrated. I know, man. It really is, man. And it's kind of funny too, because like I would give the same reaction if you said that about Whataburger that my California friends would say with you saying that about In and Out. They would lose their mind.
Mhm.
They would lose their mind. They'd be like, how can you say that? Like, it's so funny, but it really is overhyped. I mean, it's good, but like you can't really argue like, oh, it's a healthy burger. Like,
And no.
yeah, I mean, okay, it's a healthy burger, good. Like, it's better than alternatives, but does it mean I should have one every day?
Yeah. And the thing is, though, I think that's a really. This may be a hot take, but like, I feel like it's a really dumb argument to say, like, oh man, the burger's healthier. Who gets a burger to be healthier? Like,
No
I
one,
mean,
literally
I
no one.
just feel like that doesn't make any sense. Like when you got the Impossible Burger, and I'm hey man, I'm all for it. If we can get some plant based meat that tastes just like a normal burger, cool or whatever like that. But at the same time, I'm not gonna go out and get me an Impossible Burger thinking like, man, I just had a salad. Like,
Exact same thing. I know,
I
right?
mean, I'm not gonna be like, man, I'm really making healthy choices right now. I mean, it's just like you
No.
said, it's a healthier alternative to trash. Like, I mean, it's the same thing. Like, I mean, if I want poison, I want full blown poison.
Right. Yeah, I'm
Like,
gonna get it either way. Like
yeah,
I'll be
don't get
like,
me
oh
half.
well, it's cheat meal day, so I'm not gonna go to In and Out because I really want to go all in. Like, no,
Yeah,
I'm still gonna go to In and Out.
exactly,
You know, like I still am.
exactly.
But like, I will say this. I think it kind of comes down to like how you feel at the end of it when it's that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Like, how do you feel? And I mean, all God's honest truth. I actually feel good after I eat Whataburger. I don't feel
Hmm.
sluggish. I don't feel like drained or like there's a big lump of coal sitting on my chest or anything like that.
Hmm.
I don't feel bad. I do with McDonald's, but not as much as everyone makes it sound like it
Yeah.
is, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Taco
Um,
Bell though does. It's just bag of disappointment all together.
They're quesadillas,
Uh-oh.
though. They're quesadillas, though.
Their quesadillas are good. Their quesadillas are good, and they usually don't feel so bad
Yeah, that's
sometimes.
legit. The only thing I get from there, the quesadillas. That's the only thing I get from Taco Bell. So, um, Wendy's, I feel bad after. Burger King, Burger King messes me up, man. I had Burger King like late night coming home food a few times. I would wake up in the middle of the night just drenched in sweat. Like, what are they
Mhm.
putting in those burgers, man? Yeah, I'm telling you. Raul says you're gonna eat healthier at fast food place. GTFOH. I know, man, for real. It's such a fallacy, bro. I think about that. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Like how in the past 20 years, how America views food has changed so much, man. Like, like
Mhm.
we used to think, like literally 20 years ago, it was like, yeah, reheat your food in plastic Tupperware. That's not bad.
Mhm. It's
Go for it.
like, oh,
Leave the
okay.
lid on.
Yeah.
It'll probably warm a little bit, but like your food will be warm and it's
Yeah,
safe.
man. Yeah, don't mind that plastic taste.
Yeah, right. I'm telling you, like, just how in TV dinners, like, oh yeah, I mean, when you're on the go and you're running, like, no, like what? I don't know. It's crazy how much time has changed, and that kind of was the thing with In and Out. At least I remember it that way when we were in Texas. What that was
Mhm.
almost 10 years ago now when they came, I think.
Mhm.
Um, and they were talking about, yeah, it's a healthier burger option because it's all natural. Because that was the phase when everybody was like organic this, organic that,
Mhm.
you know, and so if you put organic on anything, like you could put organic on a fucking stalk of corn, you know,
Yeah.
be like, oh, that's the one I'm getting. I'm getting that one.
Mhm. I need that
It's not that
organic.
factory made corn.
Exactly.
I've seen, I've seen, um, I've seen
Did come out of a
organic.
mass production facility.
Yeah, man. Let's see. What was the dumbest thing I've ever seen organic on? I have to think. There's definitely been some stupid ones.
Mhm.
It's
I
been
can't
like
think of
organic
one of those.
bologna. I think.
Yeah.
I think there has.
Organic
I'm like,
pickles. I think there was organic. I think there are organic
yeah,
pickles.
like how do you screw that up? Like,
Mhm.
literally, how could you screw up a pickle, right? But then, flip side of that too, when you go organic, zesty bread and butter flavored pickle,
Mhm.
there's no way all of that is true. Like one of those is a
Yeah.
lie, you know. So, but yeah, man, it's funny. I don't know. I feel like I gravitate towards those things like food, music, whatever, because it's like the one thing everyone enjoys those things.
Mhm.
It's universal. But
Exactly.
like name one person that's like, I mean, I could take or leave food. You know,
Yeah.
like
That's probably the
no.
people who eat like Soylent or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Who do
Okay.
that
Okay.
all the
I'll
time.
see. This is why I'll never do an Impossible Burger because I thought because there was like a fitness YouTuber trend a couple years back where they were like they would go vegan for a day or maybe a week or whatever just to like reset their
Mhm.
body or whatever. Um, and so I was like, I'm gonna try it just for like a meal or a day or whatever.
Mhm.
And but my dumb sleep deprived mind, I was like, let me get a vegan hot dog. Vegan hot dog. So here's the thing, like hot dogs in and of themselves, I don't need to tell you, they are just basically chemicals and meat shoved in a
Yeah,
tube.
exactly.
So you take the meat out,
All you get is
chemicals, man. And
congrats.
yeah, I basically I what's that called when you throw a like a bug bomb, right?
Yeah.
What's that called? Anyway, I was basically
Uh,
a
like a
human bug
fogger
bomb.
or something like that.
Well, it starts with yeah, no, but I was basically like a human bug bomb, dude. I no one wanted to be around for the next few hours.
Crop dusted, man.
Rolla says, "Don't get me started on corn. Never eat corn. I throw corn in the toilet just to cut out the middleman." Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, yeah, I know. There's a lot of fallacies out there, man. Especially with Monsanto and the corn, and basically,
Mhm.
I feel like Monsanto has like people walking around, or I'm sorry, like human. What was that commercial? With the human stock of corn. He was like basically wearing a corn mascot. That's what it looks like inside Monsanto.
Mhm.
Literally. You're just walking around. Freaking human corn.
Mhm. Corn,
So much
dude.
they GMO their stuff, man. Um so all right, well, let's see. Let's get into our topics today.
Mhm.
Well, really our episode. We haven't even begun recording yet. This just been more fun of a conversation than I thought it would be.
Mhm.
Which is because of you guys in live stream. So thank you. But
Mhm.
yeah, today we're going to talk about a safe for work version of OnlyFans. Now,
Mhm.
me being the good Christian boy I am, did not know what OnlyFans was until Denison told me about it.
Hey,
And I
now
was like,
don't put the onus on me.
wow, whoa, how did you, what is this why I can never get a hold of you on the phone? Like, but it turned out it was just fine. This is a safe for work version. So it's kind of
Mhm.
interesting because yeah, they realize. So what I see from it is this: like they are one of those companies that complains about the community that has been built on their platform, but they're actually doing something about it, and kind of not, but they're
Mhm.
doing enough to make them a profit. It's not like Reddit, where Reddit's like, yeah, we actively know that there's toxic stuff on here and a lot of propaganda and a lot of cyber warfare going on our site, but we're not going to do anything about it. So keep on,
Yeah.
keep on. Um, so yeah, we want to talk about this safe for work version of OnlyFans. It's kind of interesting.
Mhm.
Turns out could benefit the Catch Up podcast. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, I guess that's one way to put it.
Yeah. I mean, if you see us without shirts on the next episode, this would be why. And then the other topic we want to talk about is, man, there's just no affordable cars. And this is based off of a video that Dennis and I watched. And
Mhm.
I mean, basically, even when we were kids, right, you had those, for our generation, it was mostly the tuner cars, like the 90s Honda NSX, or the Toyota MR2, or
Mhm.
Honda S2000, those kind of cars that were things we could conceivably buy with a,
Yeah, obtainable dream cars.
yeah, expendable income. You could definitely afford those. Well, all those cars even are out of sight nowadays, except for really an MR2, which I think is one of the most underrated cars of all time.
I
Um,
don't know, man. Those are even getting out of sight too.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think. I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but yeah.
yeah. So we want to talk about that. I mean, everybody's talking about inflation right now, but this is really one of those kind of things that, what is the affordable go-to car? I used to tell Dennison all the time, man, best all-around car in the world, man. The Chevy Cruze, which is no longer a thing. No longer a thing. But
Gone.
you gone. It was safe, reliable, fairly well priced, less than $20,000 you could get for, and get
Mhm.
incredible gas mileage. That's not a thing anymore. That's gone.
Mhm. You could get in a
Um,
manual too.
yeah, you could get in a manual, which was cool. But I actually know somebody who has a diesel automatic 2012 Chevy Cruze. Those are
Mhm.
pretty rare. Those
Mhm.
usually had to get the manual with the diesel. But anyway, yeah, diesel models of them too, and get incredible mileage, and are better for the environment with how the exhaust and all that.
Mhm.
So Pretty cool, but yeah, just not a lot of those. So it's a unique take on the impact of inflation. Of course, we're going to talk about other stuff relating to that as well. So
Mm-hmm.
we're going to go ahead and get into it. I'm going to go ahead and hit record. And there we are.
There we
We are
go.
officially
Oh,
recording now.
oh
Heck yeah.
man.
I know. I know. It's our big moment, man. Um, all right, let's see here. Yeah, we just gonna go ahead and slap right into it.
Yeah, man. We can just jump right on in.
This is kind of wild, but I'm gonna say this real quick. So I got hit
Mm-hmm.
up by this woman who taught me ASL, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, uh, she's legitimately deaf and like, so it was interesting to actually learn. Anyway, her daughter was getting married and is getting married like in early
Mm-hmm.
October, but the DJ just canceled on them.
Oh gosh.
I know. The DJ canceled on them. Like, I guess that's enough time to kind of, but they were like, well, she goes, I thought about you and wanted to reach out to you about playing at the wedding. I was like, dude, the abandoned Kansas show at this wedding would be wild.
It'd be so dope.
It'd be so nuts. Man, I don't even know. Anyway, so I'm hoping that plays out.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, okay, let's go ahead and get into this.
Get
All right,
booked.
three. Oh yeah, ow. This freaking fly, dude. Y'all can't even see that because it's camera. I just look like for no reason. All right, actually, why don't you start off, bro? You start this one
Okay.
off.
Yeah, yeah, no, 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 no. All right. So, three, two, one. So, I gotta say, it's been some weird times during the internets. Right now. I mean, I mean, like right now we got all sorts of craziness from like COVID and all that other good stuff. But you know, there's some weird stuff coming out, even from places that I didn't even think about because, well, we all know about OnlyFans at this point. They've been with us for about a year or
No,
something
I'm
like
not
that.
familiar, man. What is it?
You're not familiar? Well, it's
Never heard of it.
well, it's a it's a place for people who would like to see photos of certain people, and they pay a subscription service. Actually, I should really start with it's a subscription service where people pay for photos from other people. I mean,
So
it's like Shutterfly, but with people as the subject. Um,
you stole my punchline,
People
man.
in interesting poses. Yeah.
Stole my punchline. So it is basically Shutterfly, but like a little more sexy.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. They're
Okay.
just they are in interesting poses. Um and you can pay for that and enjoy their content, you know.
Interesting. Interesting. So
Mhm.
it sounds like a
Mhm.
good, clean platform.
Well,
A new
of
way to
course, man.
a new
Great
way
way
to
for people to make money.
a new way to connect with followers for sure.
Mhm.
Um, what's
Mhm.
the issue here? I don't know. It seems like a good entrepreneurial opportunity.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, plenty of people have made millions of dollars, on on the platform, and they've really enjoyed that's why it's called OnlyFans, so you can only your fans can enjoy the content that you get to publish. So, well, that subscription service, that website is branching out a little bit. They want to get into different markets, because just having people look at pay to look at other people's photos sometimes isn't as lucrative as we wish they would be. Um, so they're moving into different things, and so they have come out with an application called uh o was it is OFTV. um
OnlyFans TV.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
can just
and
flip the
it's
television on and watch OnlyFans.
You know, if your television has app capabilities, you know, maybe you can watch some content on on OnlyFans TV, man.
Wait a
Whole
minute.
different content.
Wait a minute. I'm reading our comments because, of course, we're live on Facebook right now.
Of course.
Darian's jumping in the conversation. What are you telling me that people get naked on OnlyFans? What does this
I
world come
mean,
to?
I know, I know. Hey, some people do. Some people do. Some people don't. You know, it's you are free to subscribe and do whatever you want on that platform.
That's insane. So I assume there's like black bars that cover everything, right? It's totally censored, family friendly.
I mean, if you're not paying.
Denison, I'm going to let you know a
um,
little secret, man.
hmm,
I know you probably didn't pick up on this.
no.
Uh,
What's up?
I knew OnlyFans was. I knew what OnlyFans was the whole time.
You did. Well, you know, you made this whole situation so hard and awkward.
I have a reputation to uphold. You know, a lot going on in my life, but I will say this.
Mm,
With that said, I it's interesting to me, you know, where we're going with this conversation. OnlyFans is, well, Darian kind of said some of it, part strip club, part porn. It really, so there actually are, and this is kind of the interesting thing to me about it. There are a whole section of this. There is a whole section of this where people do completely normal things. You and I, for example, could use OnlyFans and live stream this
mhm,
podcast on OnlyFans instead of freaking Facebook or YouTube,
mhm.
and which would be wild, by the way.
It
Um,
would be.
I can only imagine what those comments would say. And like, could you guys move the camera, please? Um, but you know, and then we would get tipped for it,
Mhm,
paid for it, and so yeah, it makes me just really curious why anyone. Because here's the thing: it's overrun by the
mhm,
other. OnlyFans is, it's only overrun by the other side of the platform. So it makes me
yes.
wonder why anybody would use it that doesn't do that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's an interesting situation. So you're talking about they're bringing out a safe for work version of OnlyFans OFTV,
Mhm. Yes, yes, yes. I mean,
which is
hey,
what
in this
I would say,
case,
which is what I would say if I turned my TV on and OnlyFans was on.
yeah,
I would say
exactly.
OFTV.
OFTV, man.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, they are trying to branch out. You know, they're trying to get a broader audience, and they're really trying to make this a whole different platform. So you know, that's why they're already starting to um, invite other podcasts actually to the platform. So that way you can go on to OFTV and start streaming your podcast, or you know, having your audio version of your podcast on OFTV, not to be mistaken with OnlyFans, with just the normal side of OnlyFans.
I mean, I don't get it. Um, so what you're telling me, this is what I'm hearing. They're basically
Mhm.
copying Twitch, right? That's what this sounds like.
I mean, it sort of,
I mean, it's not for
sort
gaming.
of,
Don't get me wrong, it's not for
yeah,
gaming. But
yeah.
there's another platform like this called it starts with a D. Mm, I can't remember what it's called. Discord. And
Hmm.
it's called
I mean,
Discord.
I
And
I mean, I
what?
feel like a lot of people would be mad if you compare Discord to OFTV.
But is that not what they're going for though? Is a similar thing where anyone can go
No,
on there, like any influencer can go on there with their content and then people jump in on the conversation.
I mean, Yeah, sort of. But I mean, it seems like they're launching it to be um more uh like full featured um content.
Yeah,
So, like in the excerpt here, they're trying to focus on topics like fitness and cooking and comedy and music and stuff like that. Um, I think they're trying to make it to where it's literally more along the lines of like you're watching TV,
gotcha.
like you're streaming content or whatever like that, and having. I think there's going to be room for comments, but it's not going to be so much to where it's a live stream type deal. They just want to bring podcasts on there so that way you can so that way you can listen to your favorite podcast on there, and then hey, once you're done with your favorite podcast, you can go on to see uh, one of the OnlyFan creators
Right, just easy
make their
transition.
fitness content. Yeah,
Right, yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. They're pre-workout warm-ups for sure.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, they get their stretch routine. Um, so what's interesting about this to me is they seem to be a company that is taking the concerns seriously to a point. They know that so OnlyFans genuinely was not created for this, but they didn't have any guidelines against this kind of stuff. So I don't know. Maybe it's by this point in the internet, you gotta know what you're getting yourself into if you don't take steps to prevent that kind of stuff. So to me, it was almost kind of like oh, whoops. Oh, we have sexual content on our platform. Guess we'll just create a thing where you have to confirm to us that you're an adult. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which is like, are you 18 years old? Check.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what it is, but that's what it used to be on YouTube. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and for content that did not had no business requiring that, but anyway, um, yeah. So it seems like they're taking those concerns seriously and making a change to try and appeal to a wider array of people. You know, the type of people that
Mm-hmm.
would normally use Instagram or Snapchat or YouTube for the content, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and give them a different way. But it sounds like it hinges on Patreon. It sounds like it hinges on Discord a little bit. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I mean, like I said, it's only up to a point because they're still keeping around the original platform because
Well,
they
yeah.
know the
I
kind of money
mean,
that they're making off of it.
exactly, exactly. I mean, that's the reason why the platform has stayed the way it is. I mean, hey, if you're making good money, it's okay, and your creators are cool with making good money too. So, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, I feel
I
that.
mean,
Yeah,
I mean, I think the reason why they are where they are is because they kind of lock it also behind a paywall to an extent. Now, of course, creators can choose whether or not they want to have paid things on their stuff, but um but for the most part, it's people pay to get what they want. So
yeah,
um you know but yeah, they're just trying to branch out to get a whole different audience.
yeah.
So that way they kind of try to get out of that stigma a little bit.
Well, shout out to them for trying to make a little change away from part strip club, part porn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, what a real noble
Shutterfly
thing for them to
for
do.
body parts, man.
Yeah, yeah, right. Real noble thing for them to do. Also, uh, very counterintuitive to like Reddit, who's just like, yeah, we know that there's all sorts of propaganda across our website. We're not doing anything about it. Sorry. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Deal with
So
it.
good for them on that. Do you think we'll find the catch up podcast over on OFTV anytime soon, man?
I don't know what the future holds, but I would probably say no. Um, who knows what the cards may hold, but I would probably say it's going to be a resounding no. But hey, anything's possible.
I have a bad feeling that OFTV is going to turn into like the free previews of the content that's available for on OnlyFans.
Hey,
Just like,
I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know. Raul says, he's jumping on the comments now. YouTube, Twitch, Facebook can't compete with the OnlyFans platform. Creators want/need to make money. Donations, subs, clicks, and views are cutting it. Aren't cutting it. Have to find a way to monetize their content. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
YouTube continues to hold more of that money for itself, and rather than giving it to the creator. That's why you don't see a lot of these people blowing up on YouTube anymore and solely making a living from it. It's actually why every YouTuber has their own brand, their own merch and or own
Yeah.
supplements, whatever it is.
Yeah, and they have like a Patreon or something like that to help supplement the cost because the AdSense isn't giving them the type of revenue that they wish they had.
Yeah, exactly. And Twitch, I gotta be honest, I'm not too familiar with how that works. Facebook is a money losing opportunity, man. The only way
Hey,
you
they're
can
trying to
make
build themselves up.
they are, and one thing that they've done is they've cut a deal with Spotify. So I don't know if you've noticed this, but anytime you go past a post from an artist, there's a thing at the bottom that says "Listen to this artist on Spotify," and that's their way to try and be more beneficial to musicians and make it more of an active music platform. Kind of interesting, but the only way you can make money on Facebook is by spending money on Facebook, and there's no guarantees you're doing it right, and there's no guarantees
Mhm.
that people will like, even if you are doing it right, will like what you're promoting. So
Mhm.
that's not, since they have control over how many people see your content unless you pay for it, and the only way you can circumvent that is by paying for a boosted post. Yeah, that's a complete money losing opportunity. So Raul's actually right, or he's of course right, with OnlyFans. That's why people do it. You know,
Mhm.
is that guaranteed money?
Mhm.
Same thing with Patreon. Same thing with Patreon. But OnlyFans, one of the main differences is you can connect with them live. In real
Yeah,
time.
exactly. A lot of
So
times, people feel like they can get a little bit more of a connection because a lot of times people will, you know, text or message. Yeah, they can message that creator directly, and there are times where they'll actually get some sort of response. So, yeah, it's just that extra interactivity.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, no, exactly. And Raul says YouTube's not video share/watching platform. They're a search engine for content. Or how do I blank? Yeah, it's the second
yep.
most used search engine in the world, only behind Google. So,
Hmm.
which owns YouTube, by the way. Um, so yeah, no, it totally different ball game. And so I get why people feel the need to want to do all that, and outside of the showing of your body parts. I don't know, man.
The
Maybe
lewd things.
right. I mean, I'll show off my good clean merch we're rocking right now. Grab my let's go ahead and get into a t-shirt. You know what? Speaking of all this OnlyFans
Hmm.
stuff, if you want to support the show, the best way you can do it is go over to our website, nosignalrocks.com. Hit the drop down
Hmm.
menu and find the Catch Up Podcast page, or just hit the link for our official website in the live stream or in the audio version, wherever you're listening. You can find some merch, apparel, uh, phone cases, mugs. It's all there.
Hmm.
You'll also
Hats.
find all of our episodes in one place, all of our videos in one place. And it's really the best way to support us and what we're doing. The second best way, I interchange these depending on the week, is to leave a rating or a review. Let us know how we're doing. That will tell the podcasting algorithm people are reacting to this show, and it will help us continue to grow through that.
Hmm.
So just leave a little star rating and a quick little review, and that is one of the best ways to help us continue to do what we're doing and grow this podcast and connect with more people, which is the whole goal we started with this thing in the first place, to make a difference in people's lives. So
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Well, we got another topic we want to get into tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, we are live streaming right now. We've had some great comments already, great conversation going with a few people. It is facebook.com/no signal rocks, or
Mm-hmm.
not that. It is actually facebook.com/the ketchup cast. I've been promoting my band really heavy lately. Um,
We can tell. We can
but
tell.
check that out too.
Yeah, exactly. You can check that out. You can also check out our Instagram page, which is the Ketchup Podcast. Um, and you can also check out our YouTube page, which is also the Ketchup Podcast with John and Dennison. And one last thing, if you want to go ahead and reach out to us too, because again, as we've said this before, we really want to be interactive with our fans. We really want to be interactive with all of our community and stuff like that. And we would love to hear ideas that you guys have for us to discuss or talk about on the podcast. So you can always reach out to us on it is the ketchupcast at gmail.com. Now that's the ketchupcast at gmail.com. And you can, talk to us there. Who knows? We've also had plenty of times where people have emailed us and they have been featured on the podcast.
That's right.
Um, do all those wonderful things because they really help us out and they really help us not just connect with you guys, but also kind of help us understand where we are as a podcast and how we can grow and how we can continue to grow and reach out to more people and bring more people into the community. So,
Yep. All good things. So, with that said, our content tonight that we're providing is the affordability of cars. We all had dream cars when we were growing up, right? What would that be for
mhm,
the current generation? What is it that is something that they could afford? These were tangible things that we felt were, something we could buy conceivably with a decent income.
mhm,
Talking about for our generation, it's the Honda S2000 or the Toyota MR2 or the Acura
mhm,
NSX, those type of cars. Um, but what is it now? And it's more of an interesting take that we're going for on inflation. It's been a big talker lately, but this has been going on since before inflation even started. Or
mhm.
to the point where it's at now, I should say. Inflation's been going on since the beginning of time, ever since Ugg handed one rock. Ever when it
Ugg
used to just
handed
be
one
two
rock and
pebbles.
he wanted two rugs.
I know. So you paid
Yeah,
him
he
two
wanted.
rocks?
Mhm.
Yeah. And now it's just out of control, and we're paying $8 for a cheese sandwich. Like
Yeah.
it's nuts. So um so yeah, we want to talk about that. Um and so much more, really. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Mhm.
I'm still salty. I was gonna say, I was like, oh, like Shutterfly. And you were like, so it's kind of like Shutterfly, man. I was like, damn it.
See, we were just on that same vibe link, man. We were ready
I
to
know.
go.
I know. It's fun. Let me die. All right, let's go ahead and do the intro and get into this thing.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? I'm John,
And I'm Dennison.
and this is the catch up. See, y'all forgot you
Oh.
get that bow, 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 bow,
Bow,
bow.
bow.
The beat slaps. It continues to slap. Y'all
It does
forgot. Y'all
always.
get that. Yeah, you get that behind the scenes action.
Mm-hmm.
Also, paid subscribers get a whole bunch of forehead action. Look at all that, man. You could land a
Oh
plane on that.
man.
You could land
Yeah.
a plane on it. Forehead action. It's more like some five-head action. All right. Yeah. I say we just yeah.
We jump right into it.
Hell yeah. We slap right into it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Jeez. All right. 3,
You all right?
2. Yeah, I'm good now. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. All right. So as we were saying, I would think my dream car when I was 10, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
was a Honda S2000, right? I don't
Mm.
know why, but I love those cars. It's probably Need for Speed Underground too,
Mm-hmm.
which like an iconic video game back in the day. But I think that's kind of what we're going to end up talking about to an extent is how those cultural moments influenced the car market to where it is now,
Mm-hmm.
because um I would say when we were growing up, pickups were out of reach for, high schoolers. They're not going to be able to afford them
Mm-hmm.
already at that point. Light duty pickups were still in reach, like a Ford Ranger or a S10, you
Mm-hmm.
know, but those are outside now. I mean, a Colorado or a Ranger, new Ranger. I don't want to say they're out of sight, but there's really not going to be a kid in high school that with his own money could afford one of those, right? Even
Mm-hmm.
used. Um, and so that's just, from my experience where that comes from. What was it for you though? What was the thing for you when we were young, we were growing up and you're like, man, if I just had that job, I would have that car, right?
Mm-hmm. Uh, I would probably say at least back then it was probably the Acura NSX because I remember seeing that in Gran Turismo, man, and
Yeah.
that car was so cool. Like it
Yeah.
was it was the best car ever, and so yeah, for me it was that Acura NSX that just became one of those where I was like, one day if I have that job, because actually it's funny, right? I saw the Acura NSX before I actually saw it in GT Gran Turismo. I saw it on the streets, and it was cool because I saw the car and I was like, whoa, what is that? I was like, well, this is really cool, whatever like that. And my dad's like, oh yeah, that's a Acura NSX or whatever like that. I was like, man, I really want one of those. Those are cool. And he's like, yeah, they are. They're expensive.
Yeah. Right.
um, but I was thinking, well, hey, later on, I get older, I'll be able to afford one or whatever.
Mm.
And so yeah, uh, but as you already alluded to, uh, it's uh, it's changed a little bit.
Yeah. So actually, I would like to know on the live stream, people who are on the live stream, two things. What was your dream car that you could conceivably afford when you were young? And what was your actual first car, right?
Mhm.
Mine was a Honda S2000, but the family I grew up in, there's no way I'm driving a import for my first vehicle. Um, I ended up with a Ford Ranger, a 96 model. You
Mhm.
ended up with a black Elantra, right?
Yep, Hyundai Elantra, man.
Yeah, the Blackberry. So a little
Mhm.
different, but it's what I think about now is that I see a lot of kids, unless their parents buy them a car or lease them a car,
Mhm.
a lot of kids are buying the same things that our generation bought when we were first starting to drive.
Mhm.
And um,
Or not buying cars at all.
yeah, we're not buying cars at all, which that's a whole separate issue.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, Raul, he's jumping on the comments here. He says the Honda Accord, Ford Focus, and Toyota Corolla used to be the go-to four-door sedan car companies have been making more fuel efficient since the early 2000s, but consumers want a big truck or the crossover SUVs. To answer your question, is what you can afford.
Mm.
And and that's a great point too. I mean,
Mhm.
you do still have, well, you don't anymore. You don't have the Ford Focus anymore. You know,
Mhm. Mhm.
um, the
Yep. You
Corolla
don't.
is
Mm.
true. The Accord is getting more expensive, but the Civic is still affordable
Yeah,
ish.
affordable-ish. I mean, the
Ish.
newer ones actually gotten a lot more expensive. As you said before, the Chevy Cruze has disappeared. It's gone now.
Mm,
Yeah, that's the other, like, it's exactly like Raul was saying. Like, all the very affordable early cars are kind of gone. I feel like, um, I think the only brands right now that still kind of have those relatively super affordable cars are like Nissan, right? With the Nissan Versa, um, Kia with the Kia Rio, Hyundai with the Accent, I think.
sure.
Um, but yeah, it's
But
interesting, right?
for the most part, though, those are all economy compact cars, that
Yep.
I just being honest, I would never drive ever. I just wouldn't, man. It's too
Hmm.
small. It's too small of a car.
Hey man, I think it'd be a great like beater car where you park it wherever you want. You don't really care. You can rev the heck out of the thing because it's really cheap anyway, so you don't really care about it. And you just there, you're done, and then you get your actual nice car, right? Um, and drive that around on the nice days on the weekends.
So you are the guy that liked that freaking Scion bug looking thing when that came out. I forget what that
Oh
was
gosh,
called.
no.
You did. You did. I straight up.
No.
Yes,
What are
I
you talking
have.
about? The Scion TC?
No, the TC was cool.
Yeah, that's the one that I liked. I didn't like the XB. XB is the box one.
Yeah.
I can't remember. It was like an A something, right?
Yeah, but
AX or
you said
something.
it. I got photos and everything. You're like, I don't know, man. It's pretty cool.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. You're talking about the really, really small one.
Yeah.
It was essentially like a smart car, but it wasn't. But it was that
Right.
small.
Exactly.
No, I
Exactly.
remember. Yes, I do remember. I thought it was cool because it was so weird and small and kooky and
Yeah.
yeah. But no, I would never actually drive that or buy that car.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, right. No. And the Versa, like you said, I mean, if you're gonna um, buy a new car affordable nowadays, your options are very limited. Um,
Mhm.
and you do start to see some of those cars like 10-year-old, Chevy Cruises or Corollas, Accords, those type of things kind of start to become affordable because they're just so consumer mass produced cars. Their value is going to go down over
Mhm.
time. It's not going to go up. Darian says his first car was a 2007 Volkswagen Passat. That's a good clean choice right there. Called it the
Mhm.
Silver Surfer. I'd be interested to know if that had the diesel in it or not.
Yeah.
Kevin Ryder has a Toyota RAV4 that he calls Silver Alert.
Silver alert.
Is what an issue when a elderly person goes missing. So, God play. But Darian says he's always wanted an Acura or something sleek. I get that. Raul says parents
Mhm.
don't want to buy a new car for their teenager because they know they'll crash or trash it. And
Mhm.
that's why I wouldn't buy one. Man, I'll tell you what,
Mhm.
growing up in Texas, especially North Texas and the Dallas area, very
Oh.
prevalent for people to buy their kids their first car. Um,
Mhm.
and you know what? I mean, no matter what it is, I wouldn't buy my child a 95 Camry,
Yeah.
because like I learned to respect my vehicle and appreciate my vehicle so much more by having to pay for it, by having to work on it, having to care for it, and that really
Mhm.
is. It's not just that way with cars, but I think cars are a good metaphor for life to learn that thing,
Mhm.
uh, to learn the respect of the things that you own and to take care of them and make them last. So I think it is important, and that I agree with you, man. That's why I wouldn't uh, ever buy my child a vehicle.
Mm.
The
Mm.
way prices are going, though, um, I mean, you may have to help. I don't know. I don't know, but I would much rather not. I'll say it that way. So
Mhm.
let me ask you this: What vehicle now that you mm, either you had affection for it as when we were young,
Hmm.
or you developed affection for it? It was from the time we were growing up. What car would you go for now, and can you afford it?
That's a loaded question.
Right.
Um, because I will probably have to say, as I was growing up, I ended up becoming infatuated with the 2006 BMW M3. I
Oh
am
man,
still infatuated with that car. I love that thing to death.
they're fantastic. Absolutely.
But it is sadly collector's status at this point now.
It's
So
iconic.
yeah, I mean, at this point there, and it's still regarded, especially that specific model is regarded as one of the best BMWs just before they switched over to more technology, BMW introducing a lot of technology and stuff like that.
I
Uh,
drive and yeah,
into all of their
yeah,
cars. And so um a lot of people say that that was like the last good, really, really good BMW. So BMW sports car. So that is not obtainable anymore. It
right.
once was at a point because I had calculated it out and I was looking at how it was depreciating and what I could find. And so um yeah, I can't, those aren't at all close to being affordable.
No.
Um,
What do you
what about you?
think? Well, what do you think that? Okay, you spoke on some of the reasons that the price or the exclusivity is where it is. Do you think that there's any cultural impact as for why that is the price that it is? I do. I've thought.
Uh, I mean, yeah, I think so. I think so. I also think it sounds weird, but I think the spread of YouTube and more people going to YouTube for like car reviews and stuff like that um help attribute to that
Mm,
because there are so many car reviewers that I watch on YouTube that say like, "Oh man, this car is amazing" or whatever like that. It's a classic, at this point.
yeah,
There's no way you can get kind of cars like this anymore or what have you. Um, and so it just kind of builds up that hype
yeah,
around that vehicle, and it gets to that point to where people are like, "Oh yeah, this is really valuable."
yeah.
um, and it kind of goes from there.
My my grandmother is trying to sell me her 2003 Suburban currently on the
Hmm.
live stream. Um, like on in real time, this is happening. Um, you cut me a deal, it'd be tough to turn down. The the Darian says he's really liking the older Mustangs lately.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't blame him. Those are.
Hmm.
I would be interested to know what you view as older, though, because for me, the early '90s Mustangs
Oh
can
yeah.
look very freaking cool. You
Hmm.
can make them look very cool. Um,
Yes, I love those.
yeah, I would say, and those I think are going up in value as well. Mine is Pontiac GTO, uh,
Mm.
the '05, '04, '05, '06 models. Last year was
Hmm.
'06. Um, that would be the one I would want. They put a 6-liter V8 in there instead of the 5.7, so a little more power. It looks
Hmm.
better, has a hood scoop on the front, some ram air action.
Hmm.
They didn't call it that, but um, and they look good. They are good driving cars. They sound good. You can do very subtle things to them to make them look even better.
Hmm.
Um, and that was like the height of the tuner craze. So they have a lot of kits, like you get the smoky brake lights, or black roof for it, or carbon fiber hood, those type of things.
Hmm.
I'm not looking to do that. I want it to look more like a muscle car because it's a GTO after all. but
Yeah.
I would love one of those cars. The thing about it is that exclusivity. I mean, they were already kind of had a high used value to begin with, so it's not the best
Yeah.
example. And they did because they were only made for 3 years. They came with the GTO name. They were driver cars, which was rare at that time. There were not a lot of rear wheel drive, like sporty cars that were affordable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so they kind of, especially with V8, and so yeah, they're kind of rare to begin with, and the resale value is still high for what it is, right? And so that would be mine, and I definitely can attribute it to that reason as to why the price is what it is. But with yours, man, this is one thing I think about. And so, okay, Need for Speed Most Wanted, right? Need for Speed was
Mm-hmm.
huge in the 2000s, and on the cover is this blue and white striped M3, and it became so popular. Literally, you would have commercials, movies, other things with an M3 in it that kind of looked like that M3 from the video game, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like the main car that you're driving in the game, or you have at the beginning, you get back at the end, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, all that kind of stuff. And so uh, that to me played a role in our generation, kind of being opening our eyes to it, right? And I would say the best example of anything. I actually saw one of these the other day. It was an R32 model, which are highly sought after, and it looked brand new.
Mm-hmm.
But a Nissan Skyline.
Yeah.
Video games definitely opened America up to what is this thing, uh, find out what that was. But the real thing was Fast and Furious,
Mm-hmm.
1, 3, and 4. You know, um, that was what Paul Wall, right? Paul Walker.
Paul Walker.
I
Paul
definitely
Wall.
have a reason I said that. Sean John, Paul Wall. Um, yeah, I mean, he made that car iconic with the stunts that he was doing, driving the car in Fast and Furious. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and that in and of itself, the rarity and exclusivity over here, they were never sold in the United States. You had to get them, um,
Important.
converted to left-hand drive and brought over here. But yeah, I mean,
Well,
just
you
those,
well, you don't actually have to get them converted. You just have to get them imported. Um, and then when they're getting imported, that you do have to do certain safety things, but you can keep them how they were.
yeah, interesting. Yeah. So, I mean, those cultural moments played into this entire thing. So, I want to know your thoughts on this, um, and what you see is the cause. How does inflation play a role? What alternatives are there to paying big bucks for even somewhat of a cool car?
Mm-hmm. Uh, so I mean, I guess going for like just starting with the inflation thing, it kind of makes me remember back when I went to the Bear Jackson Auto Show. They were saying that like even when the like back when the 2008 recession hit, right? They said that they found it was interesting because a lot of those, a lot of these millionaires and people with big wallets, um, we're still buying cars at incredibly high rates. It's because they saw them as investments. They saw them as something that was going to gain value, similar to how a lot of rich people or a lot of millionaires tend to buy a lot of expensive artwork or things that are going to go up and appreciate because they felt that it was a good asset, an appreciating asset that they can hold on to. And so
Yeah.
I kind of feel like around around the 2015, somewhere around there, they started to shift over towards these cars, these cars that we find so near and dear to ourselves. And they started to buy those up. That's the reason why the Toyota Supra, I mean, yes, it's always kind of always had like a higher price tag, but that's the reason why, just recently, what I think a year or two ago, they a Supra sold for $100,000. A Toyota Supra.
That's crazy.
Um.
They're fantastic cars,
So,
but
oh
they
yeah,
are not supercar status, you know?
yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's because people saw that these can be collectible cars and they saw that there was a need. Our generation wanted those cars. And
Yeah.
so they bought those cars up knowing that our generation, when we get to of a certain age and get to a certain money status, we will pay whatever we want to buy said cars.
Mhm.
Um, and so, yeah, I think that's kind of what's been going on and what has continued to go on. And of course, what we're in right now, COVID and the the difficulty in finding cars and all the other good stuff like that, of course, feeds into it. But I think it started
Mhm.
a lot earlier than that. And so, you have like I wanted an MR2 also as like a really cool obtainable project car that I could work on. And even if I wanted a 90s MR2, but those are almost impossible to find now. And if you do find them, you're going to pay. I've seen like really garbage versions of them go for like, 5 grand,
Wow.
5, 10 grand more than that. Actually, no, really, I've seen them go for about 10 grand if it's a turbo, especially,
Yeah. Wow.
um, which is insane, right? And I've
Yeah.
also seen the early 2000s versions of the MR2 go for, I guess, the Mark III technically go for um, go for outrageous amounts like 12 grand, and it could have high mileage, but it'll go for like 12, 13. I actually have my manager actually has an MR2,
Okay.
which is really, really cool. And he's got one of the rarer ones because apparently there was a point in time where Toyota had it was a I think it was like a single clutch manual, but without a pedal, something similar to that. It was really interesting the way they did it. And he's got one of
Yeah.
those. And he said, yeah, he could sell that one for like 15 grand or something like that, which is
Wow.
insane. Um, so yeah, I mean,
That's
they
kind of what I
go
like
for,
too. Not to cut you off,
okay.
but
No, go ahead.
that's kind of what I was mentioning with the Cruise so many minutes ago. You know, the fact that they had automatic diesel version that was kind of a rare option. Those were things that were really popular when our parents were growing up, having all these different
Mhm.
options, and some combinations were very rare. But when we were growing up, it was not very common. So it was rare to have
Mhm.
uniquely optioned things, which makes it even cooler.
Mhm.
Um, and so that was my point in that, and it pertains to what you're talking about. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, you're right though. Like it's really interesting to think like, in this mass production car society, we can still have optioned out cars in some form or fashion, right? You just so happen to buy, the there's only, one of 1,000 versions of a manual, I don't know, Audi something or whatever like that. So yeah, it's kind of really interesting that way. But going about what I was talking about, where cars are just going up, and to be more specific, I'll say it's more along the lines of JDM cars. A lot of Japanese cars, ones that you said earlier, that were really prevalent in the Fast and Furious films, because those are things that, as we were kids, we grew up and we saw those and we're like, oh, I want one of those.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so yeah, those
RX-7.
cars kind of exactly RX-7.
Yeah.
Those are impossible to get now.
Yep.
Um, I mean, even when we were growing up, they were insanely expensive, but
They were
still,
rare. Yeah. but not like they are now. And that was from Tokyo Drift, the
Mm.
second Fast and Furious, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, there was actually one in the first one too.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
Mm-hmm.
right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it a lot of that kind of just blew up from there. So I guess the only solace that we have in this point, right, for people who still want to get that project car, like for us, right, we both want to get some sort of a project car when we have time or when we have space to where we could have it something that we can work on, a weekend kind of car. um, and we can't get, of course we can't get those icons like we wish, but I think there is still a there are still plenty of amazing cars out there that we can make the same icon that we wish, um, or have the same fun that we would have had with getting that iconic car that we really wanted.
Yeah.
And I've actually been in the video that we watched, and I have been reading some trends too that a lot of people find that a lot of the older domestic cars, around the 90s, early 2000 cars, they still made some really cool, crazy, wacky domestic cars during that time. And a lot of them
Oh yeah.
are going for relatively cheap money.
Really.
Especially like the C5 Corvette, you can still find those for relatively low prices. They
You
haven't fully
can.
bottomed out.
They
Um,
are actually cheaper than just about every other car we've mentioned during this podcast.
yep,
And
yep,
they're Corvettes, you know?
exactly,
And the
exactly.
C5 looks good. I mean, it was the
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good looking car. It really is. And yeah, I mean, you have the cool little feature of the folding headlights. I mean, they're cool.
Mhm.
They're really
Yeah.
a great option for kind of what I'm talking about. Because
Mhm.
I'm
Exactly.
gotta get a General Motors product. But
Yeah.
but but yeah, I mean, I get it, you know. So uh, that's a great example. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
No, no worries. Like I really do think though, yeah, those are cars that we can get. I think it's just we look them over, right? No one really thinks of a Corvette, I guess, in some ways when they're going for
Yeah.
those cool cars. And I would love to have a C5 Corvette, and
Oh
they're
yeah.
easy to work on. It's got an awesome LS motor, so there's tons of potential there. So I think that's kind of curbing that thought process, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I totally
Early
agree.
2000 Mustangs too. Sorry, go ahead. My bad.
Early 2000s Mustangs had very different. You had multiple options with them. You had a Celine, Steve Celine's production house
Hmm.
had his own version of it. Jack
Hmm.
Roush's production house had it. Carol Shelby's had one, um, and they all were cool in their own ways. Um, I'll be honest, least desirable Mustang for me for sure, but the options that you had were very cool.
Hey man, those had I forgot what they're called, but they actually had like a decent suspension setup. Um, a little bit better than the ones that were the generation after that one. I forgot what
Oh
it's called.
yeah,
It makes me annoyed that I'm blanking on it right now, but they had a better suspension on there, and the Carroll Shelby one was actually really good. I mean, it had the code name the Terminator, so that's
yeah,
cool.
that's right.
But yeah,
Yeah,
those have a lot of power with them, so those are great. A great alternative that you can jump onto. The
yeah.
early '90s Camaros, before they went extinct, are
Oh,
actually
dude.
still really good. Um,
That's what I really want. I mean, I know I've talked about this before, but I want like a IROC Z Camaro, like a 1990
mhm,
model. That's what I
mhm,
want. Those
mhm.
that would
I'll say
be
the IROC though is kind of in that collector status now,
it
but
is. It's starting to get there. It's not quite there yet, but it's starting to get
mhm.
there. I know. It'd
Yeah,
be a
it's already
good better.
bottomed out and it's on its way up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be.
Mhm. I
Even
will
late
say this, I
90s
would get an
Camaros
early
too.
2000, I would sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I would get an early
No, go ahead.
2000s Mustang over the 80s Mustangs for sure. So,
Yeah.
I'll take that back. But what were you saying?
No, no, I was gonna say I was like I think even the late Camaros when they had that weird look, I forgot what they're called. I forgot the body style, but those aren't actually bad. Those they look weird and kind of ugly, but
Yeah.
they were not bad cars. They had a lot of power and a lot of things that you could do with them. So I mean, those would also be great
They did.
alternatives.
Yeah, no, no, you're exactly right. They did have some good parts to them. And what was it? The Firebird version of it. Oh, all right, we're all
Hmm.
good over here. The Firebird version of it had like a couple of different options, including a ram air, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm. Yeah,
Ram air
yeah. The
forward.
Ram Air one's now kind of collector status too, so that's kind of annoying. But
Well, yeah, we worked with a guy at Home Goods that had one. And I got to ride in it. It was pretty cool. It was kind of ratted out a little bit, but the actual car itself was very cool. But
Mhm.
look, I want to ask though. Okay, so we have talked about how investors and collectors have driven up the price, right?
Mhm.
And I want to know two things. Has that impacted the overall price of the car market? These greedy, filthy rich investors, right? Has that impacted all car prices going up? And how can that, if so, how can that correlate to other things that we've seen inflation with, other things that we've seen prices go up on? I know I
Um,
just asked you like a macroeconomics question.
I mean, I would say they indirectly influenced it because, as we stated, right, the cool cars when we were younger that we thought were obtainable dream cars became unobtainable, which means that drives us as potential buyers of those obtainable dream cars to other vehicles, um, to try to find something that has that same umph. And I think that is one reason, though, that has helped manufacturers start to, pull out these really cool new cars, like really driver focused, cool cars. Because I feel like we're in like another 90s type of era when it comes to like really cool performance cars starting to really come back. And so I do think that influences the market negatively because we lost those cool obtainable dream cars. We moved to another market to where it would have been, though we're buying up all the cheap cars that the younger generation would have gone for, which also negatively inflates or positively inflates. I don't know how you want to do it, but it inflates the car prices for new cars because manufacturers are going to, I mean, they're already having to deal with the chip shortage. So they're already not having to buy or they're not able to make as many. And I think eventually we're also going to see it to where there are just going to be runs of cars that just disappear,
Mm,
like the automotive, like I mean we've already started seeing this with the Kia Stinger. It's going to be gone in 2022. This is the 2022 is the last year Model 4 and then it's gone.
gotcha.
um so I think it is one of these trickle down effects where collectors moving to cars, they'll buy certain cars. I mean, we've already seen it with like exotics. New exotics are actually getting bought up by collectors and then later sold for huge profits. And so I think it affects the normal car market because a lot of manufacturers feel that they can get some sort of similar prices if they make a car similar to what people are desiring, and so that inflates the price even more. Um, and then, of course, again, like we said earlier, the chip shortage doesn't make it any better. So I think it's, I don't want to sound like doomsday. I don't think it is a doomsday situation, but I think we're in a point to where it makes it harder for cars to bottom out, because that's the big thing, right? In car culture, I feel like everybody in car culture knows that a certain car year model or brand or whatever um, will get to a certain point where it's selling at normal manufacturing rate, at MSRP or whatever, and then it starts going down. It starts getting to its where it starts depreciating a lot and stuff like that.
Sure.
You know how most
Mhm.
cars do, and then it hits rock bottom. It hits to a point where it's like the cheapest that you'll find it. It's the cheapest that it'll ever be. I think
Yeah.
C5, like we already talked about, is pretty much at rock bottom right now. Um,
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
and and then it starts going back up a little bit, depending on the certain cars, of course. You're not going to find your grandma's Camry um, selling for outrageous amounts of money, of course.
Right. Sure.
Um,
Sure. Sure. Yeah. If
uh,
so, I'm about to go buy me
scarce
some Camrys, man. Like multiple Camrys.
Yeah, exactly. Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Scarcity does breed demand.
Yeah. We should
But
just buy them up in general. We'll be making
yeah,
some
man,
racks.
just hey, yeah, just buy them all up, and then we can sell them for a profit because no one
Heck
can find them.
yeah. Not a bad idea.
But I do think that that uh that bottoming out effect is taking longer and longer for it to happen, and for some cars, it's not even happening like that.
Yeah.
Um, And so
It's not
again, I think that is, yeah, it's not bottoming out. It's just staying up, or it'll
yeah.
get to a low
Gotcha.
amount and then it'll just jump right up.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, I think that this goes back to something I said that was kind of crazy a while back, and I can't actually remember if I said it on the podcast or just on the live stream. But I feel like money is a figment of our imagination, man. It's really not, but it's an idea, right? It's an idea that $1 is good enough for a double cheeseburger at McDonald's, but also you have to pay $15,000 uh, to get courtside tickets at a Lakers game in the finals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it is just based off of what people. To me, there is a mathematical equation to it all, but it's mainly worth something because people say it is,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's the cost of something or the value of money. So I guess the US has a good influence around the world, a big influence around the world, because our dollar is the highest value form of currency, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, yeah, it just, with all of this happening, the value of things are going up because people say it should. And it has to do with scarcity, supply and demand, uh, the rarity of it. If we weren't a car culture, I really wonder, because it is American car culture that influenced a lot of the world. I wonder how expensive cars would be around the world, Because
Mm-hmm.
imagine if that was just true to the US. People would go to England, buy their cars, and then fly them back to the States. It'd be so much cheaper, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, I
but
mean, I think, or go ahead, I'll let you.
I mean that car culture comes from World War II is where that kind of all spawned from, and blew up from there. So yeah, I think that with the value of these cars going up, it's almost like, well, if something's cool, then you're gonna have to pay good money for it now. And to me, this goes into a
Mm-hmm.
whole different thing, based off of a depreciating middle class, a growing upper middle class, social
Mm-hmm.
media, and the ability to clearly signify what's cool and what's not, and impacting the prices because of it. I think
Yep.
that's the shorthand version of it, but I think all those things tie together.
Yep. Yep. And I also do think for cars, and this may be, and I may not have this I may not be thinking on the right track, but I do think that this is a factor. I mean, in the United States, right, we have a rule that you can't import cars unless they're 25 years older or older. Um, so I think it makes me wonder, at least, what would happen if we took that ban off, that import ban off? How would that affect our car market
Mm.
and the world's car market? Because at that point, right, you have, uh, for instance, the cars that we've been talking about, like a lot of the JDM cars that were not sold just in Japan, or only sold into the US for a few years or whatever like that, but were also sold in Europe and other places.
Mm.
What would happen if we had the opportunity to import those cars at any time?
Do you think it would lower the cost because of more options? You know, you could technically shop worldwide for your vehicle.
I think so. I think it would, because you can, at that point, you can buy a car. Um, One, you could technically buy it directly from the manufacturer, without. You could buy a old MR2 from New Zealand,
Right,
um,
right.
and have
I
it
see where
shipped
you're going.
over. But I mean, even if you're going on the new stuff, right, you could buy, instead of having to wait for it to come over to the dealerships and stuff like that or whatever like that, you could buy it directly from, you could buy a JDM Accord right now, brand
Yeah.
new Accord straight from Japan. Um, and I think that would affect the car market and make prices, at least from what I gather, I would imagine it would make it a little bit cheaper because you just increase your supply to
Well,
hopefully meet the demand.
yeah. I mean, not to play not to play devil's advocate, but I could see it being the opposite, where not the opposite, but it raises shipping prices, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
to accommodate. But I think all in all, that those shipments are going to happen regardless, and so I think really the way the car market works and car parts work, yeah, I could see that being the case. Well, you have to compete, so you have to lower your prices. Maybe you'd have a lot of companies that would say, you know, like CarMax does this. If you show them a lower price, they will match it for you. You know, but
Mm-hmm.
CarMax is the only one that does it. And then if you open it up to international buyers, yeah, conversion rate, international sellers, yeah, conversion rate. That really changes the game. That's an interesting hypothesis. I
Mm-hmm.
would think that the cost of shipping it and then converting certain things, should they be necessary, to meet,
Safety standards
oh, yeah,
and
just
emission
EPA,
standards.
EPA standards. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like FDA, FCC, um, EPA. Yeah, that would cost a lot, and may just go against the money that you would have saved. But it depends on what you're looking for too. You know, you could get more authentic. You could get a Holden straight from Australia. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and things along those lines. You know, things along those lines.
Yeah.
Different cars from all. You could
Yeah.
get Tata Motors right from India. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
they
I
own
mean,
things like
hey,
that.
and for, especially for like a lot of these collectors, money is not really an option for them.
Yeah,
So they'll pay whatever they want to get a
right.
car over if they have the opportunity to.
Yeah, no, exactly, exactly. So it's an interesting thing to think about, but right now it seems like we need to devalue cars so we can afford what we want again.
Mm-hmm.
rather than everybody just driving a mid-sized crossover all the time.
Yeah.
Which, if you ever look at that, it looks a little sketch, you know? Like
Mm-hmm.
everybody's driving. It's kind of like 1984. Everybody's driving the same vehicle, no individuality. I know I got some
Mm-hmm.
uh, I got some conspiracy theory glasses going right now, but that is kind of what it is like when you look around. Yeah, everybody's driving the same type of car. But all of it looks the same, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just because it's what the average person can afford right now. You know, those mid-sized crossovers or smallest crossovers. So,
Mm-hmm.
interesting discussion. I'm glad we had it. I'm
Yep.
very thankful for all the people that jumped in on the live stream, making it a great discussion on this episode. It was a really good one. Um, and yeah, I just want to mention one more time the best ways to support us: leave a rating and review wherever you're listening to us, and hit the subscribe button. That'll really help us out a lot to know how we're doing to help the show continue to grow. And then check out our website, is linked in the description of this episode. And one more plug, actually. In addition to the website where you can check out our merch and apparel that we have available for a well-priced price. Um, you can also pre-save the upcoming episode. Or, Jesus, dude, I can't talk. My brain is crashing right now. Let's try that again. You can pre-save the upcoming single from our friend Devon under Dev Omar, featuring yours truly. It's our new single called Telly, produced, mixed, and mastered by me. Very proud of how it sounds. It's coming out September 17th, and you can pre-save it on your favorite streaming platform at the link in the description of this episode. So check that out. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. And we'll catch up with you next week.